Hello everyone, I'm Jackal Destruct. This is my construct and here's the instruct. So this is my improved item frame selector trading hall that holds 64 villagers and automates the process of filling, infection, and disposal of villagers. Once the hall is built, you can either fill all these cells with their minecarts and their workstations, or just fill them as you go, whichever you please. I find it's easier to just kind of have everything in there and then fill this with all your villagers, and when you fill this in sequence, this is the only one that they can pick. It may take a few minutes because they can see the other ones, but this is the only one they can pathfind to. So this is the only one that they will select. So the way that it works, once you're done building it, you're going to want to put it into disposal and fill mode. This is infect and dispose mode, and this is the cell return or dispose. And you'll make your selection. Oops. And lock your selection. And if there's a cart, it'll call it to the center, and any shulkers in these dispensers, in the dispenser of the cell, will get triggered. So, if you wanted to trade with them here. Now, I haven't hooked all of these dispensers up to the chests because it really depends on how you want to lay out your trading hall. So I kind of left that up to you to, do that as you please. But the cart will come to the center here, and we'll send it to go pick up a villager. And it'll come right back here with the villager, and then we can send it to its cell. There he is. And I've already selected to send to cell. And it's already locked. So even if I, change this up, unless I push this button, it's not going to change my selection. So it's going to send him right here. And look at that. He instantly selected his workbench. And it's not anything good. But like I said, I would rather wait until all of these are filled. And then I'll go through and break in place and break in place. Now you can break in place, and he'll just select this one again. And yeah, see, look at that, already for Learn Street. And then if we wanted to, if we had emeralds, we could take this, because right now they just got paper up here. But however you wanted to lock the trade, you could do that. And then to discount their trade, you would simply have this into the infect mode, and when you call the villager, it will actually infect them and then weaken them and send them here. There he is. We can just infect him and then just send him off to his cell. And as you can see, once you get low on potions, these lights will come up. So you can just go over here to your chest and fill this up with your potions. I would have liked to have had a shulker dispenser, but I could not fit the wiring in with how tight I have everything under here. However, the golden apples is a shulker dispenser, as you can see here. So you can just have all of your golden apples here, and then this button will actually try to dispense a shulker shelf. This isn't ever empty. So if you see? So yeah, you can just have it that way. And once you go through and finish, filling up your cells, then you can just trade to your heart content here and discount here, however you please. And so if you're ever wondering why you might want to dispose, so like I said, I would wait until I have all of these filled and then go through and decide what books I want to have on who and whatnot. And if you have one that gets a trade and you're like, okay, I'm going to keep him, and then you get another guy, you trade him up, and then he has this and one that this guy had, so now you want to dispose of this guy. So I'm talking, hush. So yeah, however you want to do it, if you want to dispose of them. Sometimes whenever I'm filling up, the cells. If I get a baby villager, I'll just dispose of them. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So, you can have the breeder shut off or on from here. And these are the chests to hook up to the different dispensers. And I've tried to make it as functional and quick to move around. So I have bridges, as you can see, and water elevators to get up and down. And I have them spaced. And these doors are little maintenance areas so that you can get back and however you need to adjust any settings or things like that. Come on. But I left the outside facade undone because I figured I could leave that up to you, and the main entrance. And if you want to do a different type of roof to cap it off, however you would want to do it. But let's go ahead and take a look at the circuitry. I actually have a little, this is kind of where I mocked up my, basically it's a giant AND gate, because when you get a system, when you get a signal from here and a signal from here going this way, when you get a signal coming across this way and a signal coming from the back, it will power this torch accordingly, as you can see. And so I have the first comparator, which chooses your selection. So it will choose any one of these rows. The first selector goes into this piston line. So the comparator, which I actually have over here because I needed to figure out the timing so that all of these pistons didn't get shot up and down, because if you see this, hopefully it just happened that well. Yeah, so you don't want that. I didn't want that to happen. So when you have all of these timers set to 4 and the timers below set to 3, and because this last one doesn't have a second one, you just need it on 3. When all these are on 3 and all these are on 4, it makes it perfectly select the piston or line that you need, and it won't send another signal out. And you can, as fast as you want, I mean, it sometimes skips the other ones if you click too fast, but I mean, if you go to the one that you want, it's just going to select it. So I use that in the center, and basically each one of these corresponds to a section. So section 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then you have your cells. Each section has 8 cells. So the second comparator selects your cells, and I actually mirrored that 2 times. So I mirrored it back and forth, and then I mirrored it again onto the other side to get my circuit nice and compact, so that I didn't need a giant huge wall of AND gate. I was able to split it up into sections. So over here are your 2 sections, over there are 2 sections, and so on and so forth. And everything is actually fed into an RS NOR latch, which I actually got rid of this section of the RS NOR latch because the main line that connects to the different cells, you had to have a gate line and a rail line that you needed to activate the gate first, and then the rail second. So with this is a pulse limiter and an RS NOR latch together, and the signal comes in from the cell and switches on the RS NOR latch, which sends a pulse to the gate. So if I can actually kind of replicate this, sorry, that was the one I needed to break. Actually, let's slow this down so that you can see it. So, when the reset line resets this, everything will be down and facing the same direction. Everything will be closed, and then whenever we power it, it sends the pulse up to open the gate, and then it activates the rail shortly after. So he's already gone and off his way, and then he comes back this way and goes into his rail. And depending on which one we have selected, depends on which rail and which gate gets selected. Oh, that one got... But you get the idea. Yeah, see, it already selected and switched it. So yeah, that's pretty much how it works. And the button is connected into the reset line. And, every time you push the button, it'll reset the line and then send out the new signal from the selector. Because I actually, for the section in the completed project, there's actually a piston that pulls this block out and pushes it in, so that it pulls the block out and it's left there, and then when you push the button, it pushes it in to send the signal through for the comparator, resets the RS NOR latch, and so on and so forth. And that's pretty much the circuitry. The way the rail works is pretty much similar to the last one. I just have it coming to the center. So each of these sections, each of these is divided into basically 4 quadrants. So this side will either come up from this side and go down here, and all of these, this side all comes to this drop chute that sends it down to this line. And the same goes for the other side. So the drop chutes are in the center to try and keep the rail, because last time I had, they would go all the way down to the end and drop down and then come up from this end. But I was able to make it faster by having everything be sent to the center, and from both sides, so they both come into the center, and then it'll either, if it is detecting a villager when it's in infect mode, if it detects a villager, it'll send them into the infection chamber, where there's actually 3 zombie villagers now that have sharpness 5 swords, and you can have diamond swords on them. It'll work with diamond swords. I wouldn't go lower than that, but I just like the netherite ones because obviously they're the stronger ones. So you give them netherite with sharpness 5, have 3 of them. This little turn, I didn't have to send them in loops. They just go one loop around, and they're infected by the time they go up this water elevator. That then shoots this weakness potion onto them and delivers them to the center, so that you can give them the golden apple, and then it'll drop them down here and send them on their way, either to whichever side, because obviously I have a line here. This is the line that comes in and selects whether it goes that way or not, and then whatever the signal is sent through for the cell, whichever section gets activated actually activates another RS NOR latch over here, which also is hooked up to the reset line, and it'll select which track to turn on. So if any of the ones over here are activated, it activates this line to send the cart this way. If not, it's automatically set to send them this way. And the same goes for these sides, whichever one gets activated depends on the rail that gets activated, which will send them to their specific section. And then their rail is already selected from the cell. And yeah, I have the villager breeder right here and the disposal too. So there's actually a lot of fail safes or contingencies. So I have this here because if an empty minecart was to come through here, it could pick up one of these guys. So if it does not detect a villager, the cart won't go into here. So only when it detects a villager will it send a cart into here. Otherwise, it just gets sent up to the center. And if it is not in, so if you were to have it set to, send them to their cell when you want to dispose of them, because this switch activates that, it would send them this way to go for disposal, but the infection line powers this rail as well. So it's kind of a double redundancy to make sure that both of those switches need to be in disposal in order for this line, anything to come down this line. And it'll send them here to be disposed of, where this is the only block that they can land on, and then it pulls it out from under them to dispose of, and then instantly comes over here to grab a new villager, and then sends them up the water chute to the center where you can send them to the cell. And then this piston is what's hooked up to that lever for the breeder, and this piston will turn on and off. You just turn this piston on and off to control your breeder. And I actually, if you can see, I just barely had enough room for all the beds. So everything's kind of tight in here, but I was able to make everything work. I forgot to mention a few things. So to kind of hide the redstone, I have these picture frames on the back of things and the trapdoors here, so that you can't really see any of the redstone behind it, even if you open these. Now, you don't really need the painting on the back of these, because just this one would be fine, and then you can't really see the one under there. I mean, it's up to you if you want the paintings there, if you want to hide the redstone. So you don't really need either of those. But yeah, if you want to, I just think it looks better than having the redstone just kind of there, because I think it looks ugly. And then another thing is, I actually pretty much color coded each of the different redstone lines. So if you want to, like, try and modify this however you want, I hope I made it easy enough for you to understand what's part of what circuit. I have these comparators as the diamond, the main comparator signals as these diamond blocks, and then their different sections as colored blocks, and the sections as wool blocks for the different areas. And another thing that I wanted to add was that due to the circuitry, the way that it works out is this is section 1, section 2, section 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7 and 8. And then cell 1 is in the center and cell 8 is on the end, and that's true for every cell. 1 is in the center and 8 is on the end. So wanted to point those out to you, just so that you just to bring light on those. And if you needed to, you can actually press these buttons to automatically dispense your shulker shells as well. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I was able to definitely compact the redstone down a lot. If you watched the first video, I had the gate line from the top and the piston line from the bottom, and now they're all just connected to the same AND gate. I believe that is called. If I've been calling it something, if I haven't been calling it the wrong thing, I'm gonna feel real dumb. But that wouldn't really surprise me. So yeah, if you guys like this, I'm gonna try and leave a world download in the description. If you guys want to see a tutorial on how to build this, let me know, and I can probably get that done for you guys. But that pretty much does it. If you guys like this, let me know. You know, leave a like on the video. You have anything you want to add, let me know in the comments below. And, you know, if you want to see more, subscribe. And, you know, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for a lot for watching, and have a good one. Bye.